Did you know that a teenager experiences a greater range of emotions in a single day than a soap opera character does in a whole season? Imagine, if you will, a teenager's brain being like the writer's room for a daytime drama. Ideas are flying, emotions are high, and there's always that one person who keeps pitching unexpected plot twists. This is the biological and psychological roller coaster that teens ride every single day. During adolescence, the brain goes through a significant restructuring phase. It's kind of like a home renovation, but instead of tearing down walls and replacing tiles, the brain is building new neural pathways and pruning the less used ones. This process, coupled with a surge of hormones, is akin to giving that drama writer's room an unlimited supply of caffeine and donuts. The result? Emotions that can swing from euphoria to despair faster than a soap opera character can find out they have a long-lost twin. And then there's the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for emotional reactions. In teenagers, the amygdala is as overactive as a method actor in a Shakespearean tragedy. It's like the director of our soap opera, calling for more tears, more laughter, more shock, more of everything. This emotional intensity can be confusing and exhausting for teens, and let's be honest, for those around them too. But don't forget the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain involved in decision-making and impulse control. In the teenage years, this is still under construction, much like a set on our fictional soap opera. So while the amygdala is calling for dramatic reactions, the prefrontal cortex, which should be saying, "Let's think this through," is more like a stagehand struggling to keep up. Now, before we start to panic, remember that all these changes are normal. They're part of the rough and tumble journey to adulthood. The emotional roller coaster can be wild, but it's also an opportunity for teens to learn, grow, and become emotionally mature adults. So if your teenager is acting like they're auditioning for a daytime drama, don't worry, it's all part of the show called adolescence. Remember the story of Tommy who cried because he couldn't find his favorite socks and 5 minutes later was laughing at a meme on his phone? Ah, the joys of teenage emotional roller coasters. Let's dive into another tale. Meet Sarah, a charming 14-year-old girl. She's on cloud 9 because she just made the school's basketball team after weeks of grueling tryouts. Fast forward a couple of hours, she's sobbing into her pillow because she overheard her friends whispering about her new haircut. It's a whirlwind, isn't it? Or how about 15-year-old Jake? One moment he's ecstatic about acing his algebra test, and the next he's brooding in his room because his crush didn't text him back. Yes, the emotional highs and lows of being a teenager can often feel like being on a never-ending loop of the world's most intense roller coaster. Then there's the story of Emily, a 17-year-old who feels the weight of the world on her shoulders. She had a great day at school, acing her presentation and making her classmates laugh with her quick wit, but then she got home, and an argument with her mom sent her spiraling into a pit of frustration and sadness. Get the picture? It can be a lot to handle, and not just for the teenagers, but for the parents too. It's like trying to navigate a ship through a storm without a compass or a map. But here's the thing. These emotional ups and downs are completely normal. They are a part of growing up, a part of figuring out who they are and where they fit in the world. It's a confusing time, full of changes and new experiences. It's like being on an emotional roller coaster with unexpected twists and turns at every corner. So the next time your teen goes from ecstatic to devastated in the blink of an eye, remember Tommy and his missing socks. And remember that it's all part of the ride, so buckle up and hold on tight. It might be a wild ride, but it's also a journey of discovery and growth. Emotional intelligence isn't about being smart enough to win Jeopardy. It's about understanding and managing emotions. And for teens, it's as important as their next TikTok post. Now, we're not saying that acing a history test or nailing that dance routine isn't important. But let's be honest, life is not a competition show, and while those perfect moves might get a few thousand likes, understanding and managing emotions can have a much more profound impact on a teenager's life. Think about it. Emotional intelligence equips teens with the ability to navigate the tumultuous sea of adolescence. It's like giving them a GPS for their feelings. It helps them understand why they feel certain emotions and how to respond in a healthy way. It's the difference between reacting impulsively and responding thoughtfully. Take Sarah, for instance. She's a typical teenager who used to get overwhelmed by her emotions. She'd lash out when she was angry, sulk when she was sad, and it was affecting her relationships. But then, Sarah started learning about emotional intelligence. She began to understand her feelings, why she was experiencing them, and how to manage them. And guess what? Sarah's relationships improved, her school performance got better, and she became happier. Or consider Jake. He was always the life of the party, but he struggled with understanding others' feelings. He often said things without considering how they might affect his friends. But as Jake developed his emotional intelligence, he became more empathetic. He started understanding his friends' feelings better, and his friendships grew stronger. So, you see, emotional intelligence is not just about understanding our own emotions, it's also about understanding others' emotions and responding to them appropriately. It's about empathy, communication, and resilience. It's about building stronger relationships, making better decisions, and leading a happier, more fulfilling life. So, encouraging emotional intelligence in your teen is more beneficial than encouraging them to go viral on TikTok, and it's less likely to involve them doing a silly dance. No, we're not going to tell you to just talk to them. We know you've tried that, and it probably ended with a slammed door. Navigating the tumultuous waters of teenage emotions is like trying to win a chess match against a grandmaster. You're not quite sure what the next move is, and you're pretty sure they're playing a different game. So let's delve into some practical, non-generic tips for dealing with these unpredictable emotions. One of the most effective ways to connect with your teen is to engage in activities they love. Remember the story of Emma and her dad? Emma was a die-hard soccer fan while her dad was more of a bookworm. But Dad decided to set his reading glasses aside and learn about soccer. He didn't become the next Messi, but he did become Emma's favorite soccer buddy. By taking an interest in her world, he opened up a new channel of communication between them. Next, let's talk about the art of selective ignorance. Yeah, you heard that right. Sometimes, the best response to a teen's emotional outburst is no response at all. Think about the case of Jack and his mother. Jack was going through a rough patch and often lashed out at his mother. Instead of engaging in a verbal duel, she chose to remain silent during his outbursts. This gave Jack the space to cool down and eventually opened up about his struggles. And of course, let's not forget about the power of humor. A well-timed joke can diffuse a tense situation faster than you can say teenage tantrum. Consider the case of Lily and her dad. After a heated argument, Dad walked into Lily's room wearing her favorite unicorn onesie. The sight of her dad in that ridiculous outfit was enough to break the tension and get them both laughing. Remember, dealing with teenage emotions isn't about winning a battle. It's about understanding, patience, and sometimes it's about knowing when to hide their favorite socks. If you found this video more helpful than a How to Talk to Your Teen pamphlet, then we've done our job. We've navigated the tumultuous waters of teenage emotions together, haven't we? We've journeyed from the high peaks of adolescent exhilaration to the profound depths of the ugly cry and emerged, not unscathed, but certainly wiser. We've learned that teenage emotions aren't just about the good, the bad, and the ugly cry. They're also about understanding the importance of emotional intelligence in our young ones. Remember how we talked about the emotional roller coaster of adolescence? Those rapid mood swings that can turn your sweet, agreeable child into a sulking, rebellious stranger in the blink of an eye? It's not just hormones running amok, it's a crucial part of their journey to adulthood. As parents, it's our job to strap in, hold on tight, and ride that roller coaster with them. And then, we delved into the importance of emotional intelligence. It's about more than just understanding their emotions. It's about helping them to process their feelings, communicate effectively, and develop empathy. It's about equipping them with the skills they need to navigate the world of adulthood. We also shared some tips and tricks for dealing with teenage emotions. No, we didn't suggest bribing them with chocolate or threatening to disconnect the Wi-Fi. We talked about open communication, empathy, and patience. We emphasized the importance of providing a safe, non-judgmental space for them to express their feelings. Understanding teenage emotions isn't just about maintaining peace at home. It's about strengthening the bond between you and your teenager. It's about helping them become emotionally intelligent adults who can handle life's challenges with grace and resilience. So, if you want to continue this journey of understanding your teenager without the drama of a soap opera, subscribe to our channel. And remember, the teenage years are just that, years. They do eventually end, promise.